Good morning. Hope your day is off to a terrific start and hope you're somewhere nice and safe and dry as you watch the show this morning. Since it has proverbially been raining cats and dogs, we thought it appropriate to kick off the show this morning with Dr. Jim Hammon over at the Northgate Animal Hospital. He called yesterday and said, you know what? We are having a baby boom here at the veterinary clinic. Cats and dogs, puppies and kittens, right, Jim?
That is exactly right. And you know, when it does rain cats and dogs, it sure is good for business.
So I really was kind of surprised to hear you tell me how many babies you're getting in for their first appointments with you. I would think that would be either something you'd find more in the spring or at the new year with people getting pets for Christmas.
I think it's not just Northgate Animal Hospital or just Chattanooga. We actually, with COVID, have had more people staying home, and I think more attention has been paid to pets. So we have a lot of pets that we hadn't seen in a while that have come back in. In addition, a lot of people, because they are home, feel like it's a great time to have some extra company with a furry dog or cat to be along there as a companion.
Okay, let's play a true or false game. True or false? If you're going to get a baby, is a kitten easier than a puppy?
We'll say true, but that's a trick question, Julie. So, you know, with a cat, many times you can be in and out of the house and have a little less upkeep because they do litter boxes and they entertain themselves. I always say if you get a cat, it's good to have two cats so that they can play with each other and so forth. Dogs are definitely going to require more attention as far as going in and out, house training, doing exercise periods and walks and that type of thing. But, you know, the dogs sure are a great companion as well. So we see lots of dogs and lots of cats, and a lot of owners, pet owners, you know, have a preference, but a lot of pet owners have both.
Okay, I guess, you know, what you said you wanted to focus on was kind of the things to do before you welcome your four-legged friend into the house.
That's exactly right. First thing that I always tell our owners to do before they get a new pet, especially if they haven't had one, is to pet-proof the house. And, you know, just like we baby-proof a house when a new infant enters the household, we have to do the same thing for the pets. We have to make sure there's not electrical wires down that they can chew on because, of course, puppies and kittens really like to chew on things like that. We got to make sure there's not poisonous plants in the house. We got to make sure that the shoes that get left all over the house are not left down if that's a shoe that you want to care for because, you know, when new puppies come in, you know, they're going to chew on a lot of those types of things. So sweeping the house of any hazards is always a really big thing that we need to do.
Okay, let me ask you that on the chewing of the shoe thing. It is just a universal fact that they like that. So is it a bad idea to give your puppy an old shoe that you don't mind him or her chewing on? Does that begin a bad habit for the dog?
Yeah, how do they know which one's an old shoe and which one's a new shoe?
Okay.
So with that being the case, I recommend chewing on chew toys that are designed for being chewed on and keep your shoes up.
Do they like the shoes because it smells like you? Is that one of the reasons they go to it?
Well, I think a lot of shoes are leather or canvas, and of course they're going to be losing their puppy teeth and getting new permanent teeth in, and so they're looking for anything to chew on. So you've got to redirect their chewing to something that is okay to chew on. But chewing on leather, you know, that's meant much like a rawhide or something like that.
Okay, are their teeth still developing? Do you have to be careful about how hard something is that a puppy's going to chew on compared to an adult dog?
Not really. I mean, you want to use age-specific and also weight-specific type toys for the pet. So use your discretion there. But especially when they're losing their baby teeth, which is between 4 and 6 months of age, and getting all their new permanent teeth in, they're very much interested in chewing because that's the way they help to loosen the teeth and get rid of the baby teeth.
Okay, what about accident pads? Are those a good idea to have, or does that begin the wrong idea that your dog thinks he can go in the house as opposed to asking to go out?
So that also is a trick question. So
I'm full of that today.
That's right. A lot of dogs get trained to a puppy pad, and they're going to be a small indoor pet, you know, a little Pekingese, a little toy poodle, and they don't go outside and they just use the bathroom there, and that's perfectly fine. If you've got a Labrador, then you need to be house training them. You know, they're not going to be able to utilize a puppy pad quite like that. Also using crate training they don't like to use the bathroom in their bedroom, so to speak. So, you know, when you're away from the house, or, you know, for periods of time when you can't supervise a young puppy, getting them used to and comfortable in staying in their crate's a good thing, and then immediately take them outside when you let them out of the crate, so that we can develop those good house training habits and so forth. So again, it depends on if you're going to be in and out, and, you know, if you're going to be able to supervise them, or if you have a large breed dog or a small dog. All of those factors, you know, play into that question as well. And of course, a lot of people now are utilizing the doggy doors, and cats and dogs can utilize those. At my house, then I have a dog door in the basement walk-through door, but I have the invisible fence in the backyard. So that lets our pets go in and out when nobody's at home, and yet they stay perfectly contained in our backyard.
Okay, so as for the crate part of it, I used to think that seemed kind of mean to put your dog in the crate, but the truth is they feel secure there. That's kind of like their room. But is it a good idea to keep the crate somewhere in the midst of the family as opposed to isolated somewhere?
Well, I think that if they're in the midst of the family, you know, they can see what's going on. A lot of people just leave the door open to the crate, keep their little bed in there, and then that winds up letting them know that that's a safe place, and they go there for their bedroom, as we said. Then if you're not going to be able to supervise them, you can close the door for short periods of time, and then, of course, let them right back out to the outside to have that bathroom break when they wake up.
Okay, 30 seconds left, Jim. On the kitten front, a lot of people are afraid to get a kitten because they're going to claw at the furniture. Anything you can do to try to remedy that?
You know, scratching posts. You know, train them to the scratching post initially, and many of those cats do very, very well, you know, when they know where they're supposed to scratch. See your veterinarian if you're having a real issue along that line, and talk about any other remedies that might be available. And then also, the one other important thing, if you're getting puppies and kittens, don't feed them adult food. Make sure that they have puppy and kitten food, which they need all the way up until 1 year of age. We need the right lifestyle food with them, you know, for their growing.
Excellent. Good advice, Jim. Thanks so much for your time.
We always enjoy it. Thanks, Julie.
So do we. You can find Dr. Jim Hammon and his brother, Dr. Randy Hammon, at Northgate Animal Hospital on Hammel Road in Hickson, 875-9033, online, northgateanimalhospital.com.
So what came first, the grilled cheese or the burger?
So you know the burger had to come first. You go back hundreds of years. I don't know, cheese has been around hundreds of years.